There's so much in our life that's reflective of the relationship that we have with our parents, because it's the first relationship we have. So our relationship with our passion, our relationship with our mom, our dad, it's how we relate to love. It's how we relate to everything, because it's the first relation that we had. So it powerfully affects everything. So becoming aware of it is very powerful. Now, first off, we did it better this time. Last time what happened is we went to Costa Rica back in November for our first one, where we brought in these specific, shaman that we've gotten to know very well. We feel very comfortable and we really trust them. And last time in November, we were really learning the ropes. There was actually a lot of hiccups that came up in the last retreat. What happened is Victor, Patty, and I, so Victor and Victor's wife, Patty, and I, we were driving. We came in on a Wednesday, which is when the retreat started, and we got caught up in, we got a rental car instead of having like the shuttle pick us up, because it's about an hour and a half ride from Liberia to this place that we go in Nosara, Costa Rica. And this hour and a half drive is normally done by shuttle. However, what happened is we got a rental car. And when we got the rental car, what happened is I was driving and we went this way that looked shorter, but it wasn't actually shorter because we got 90% there. And there was a river where we couldn't cross. The river was way too steep. There was way too much water. So basically what happened is we had to turn around and go an even longer way. So something that should have taken about 2 hours took about 5.5, 6, 7 hours, something like that. It was crazy. And we showed up after all the other guests were there. All the subscribers were there. There was about 30 of them. And we showed up after everybody, and we did not like that dynamic. We wanted to be there before everybody, but because it took so long, we ended up being like the last ones there. And by the time we got to the retreat, we were like completely drained and just wanting to eat, and then it was just so much energy. So we learned from it. So this time we showed up 3 days before. So the retreat lasted from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So it's 4 days, and then Sunday everybody leaves. And we got there on like Sunday or Monday. So we were there 2 or 3 days early. That gave us time to catch up on sleep. It's normally a day of travel to get there, at least like 16 hours of travel to get there, because there's always a layover from the airports that we fly out of. So we got there a little bit early. And that was really nice. That gave us time to like recharge our batteries. That gave us time to like clear our energy. And that was much more smooth this time. Now, for the actual ayahuasca itself, part of our intentions were to help just in general. Normally, Victor and I, we don't go as deep as everybody else, because if we were to go as deep, our intention is for everyone to have an amazing experience. And I think as well, sometimes there's a little bit of a fear for us to go deep, at least on my side, because maybe it's like a fear of losing control, because if I were to lose control, I'm in front of all these people that may know me or of me, and there's like a fear of, I guess, what other people think. But normally when I go, I don't go crazy deep. So on Wachuma Day, I always go deep because that's my medicine. I love Wachuma. But on the Thursday night, Friday night, I didn't go that deep on Thursday night, but on Friday night, I did go deeper. And basically what happens is during these ceremonies, during the day, what we're doing is there's like organic food, we're eating, getting to know each other. There's an amazing pool, an amazing view at the place that we do our retreats at in Costa Rica. And so it's kind of like enjoyment, we might do some hape, which is like ceremonial tobacco, which is like this thing that goes up the nose. It looks pretty intense, but it's something I would have never saw myself doing. But when I did it, when I was in Costa Rica, 2017, and they offered it, I said, no. And then one of the last days, the shaman was doing a healing ceremony thing for men and women. So the men went up and he serves it. I wasn't about to explain to him, no, I'm not going to do this. I did it. I felt amazing. So grounding, so in the body. It's not psychedelic. But anyways, we were doing things like hape, just having kind of a fun time. We'd give there's an integration talk where we introduce the shaman so people can get to know them and stuff, for the medicine men and women. Shaman do not like to be called shaman, by the way. It sounds so, I don't know, stereotypical. They like to be called like medicine men and women. Or medicine, I don't know, something like that. But anyways, I call them shaman just because all of you will know what shaman is. Kind of understand the idea. They're the ones that facilitate and hold the container for the ayahuasca experience, and same for the shaman for the Wachuma experience, which are different shaman. The ayahuasca, there's 2 ayahuasca ones. husband, wife, and then there's a one Wachuma shaman who is just one person. And they're all magical. They're all amazing. Now, with this experience, normally at about 6 o'clock at night, we meet up. And we bought new mattresses because we're doing more of these retreats. We actually invested in nice mattresses so people have a more luxury experience. And basically what happens is, at 6:30, everyone meets up, and we are kind of waiting around, and then it starts shortly after that. And what happens is normally the first cup is served, and then you go lay down, and then about half an hour later, you're starting to feel the medicine, and then about 2-3 hours in, you get a second cup, and that second cup will bring you a little bit deeper, or a lot deeper, and that's when you're going into the medicine. That's when you start going into it. And I love the medicine that we're connected to. I think it's called Santo Daimon. It's a certain tradition in Brazil, but it's more of a church-like meditation type vibe. So there's some ayahuasca medicines that you'll do that'll bring up just all this crazy shit, and like you're gonna see the fifth dimension Pleiadians and all this like crazy like alien stuff. And there's some people that like that kind of medicine. This one's much more of a settled medicine, of a vibration of like love that is bringing up stuff and making you aware of stuff, but it's much more, I don't know if it's gentle. You could say it's gentle in some ways. It's a very divine, sacred medicine, like version of Aya. There's many different versions and traditions, but I love the one that we use. I actually enjoy it. It's good for, I've been drinking more often now, like twice a year instead of once a year now that we're doing more retreats. But anyways, let me share with you some of the insights. Now, first off, I gave a talk. Normally, the star of the shows when we do these retreats is the plant medicine. People that are coming for Victor and I to give like an amazing talk, that's not the intention. The intention, and we do normally do talks or do like little, Victor does like a Kundalini breathwork type thing, workshop, and I do one where like the top insights of my shadow I've been learning, hour-long talk that I gave. But the main star is we're attracting people that want to do the plant medicine because that is the container. That's where the subconscious stuff comes up and everything. And the theme of this one that I was sharing is, for my talk at least, I was sharing about my shadow insights from the last probably 6 months. A lot of it has to do with the people-pleasing thing that I shed, understanding that me being in my own frame and in my own body are the same thing. And basically, I was talking a lot about the energy of like the shadow work, of also understanding like the shadow inner child wounds that I've had from childhood and how that's affected many areas of my life. Like how the people pleaser mentality stemmed from when I was younger, not feeling worthy and not feeling seen or not getting the attention. And I had some realizations about this ayahuasca experience that completely changed my life. But I was sharing in that talk, I was sharing kind of like a little bit of narcissism and empathy. And because I think a lot of people that come to these retreats are very empathic, very maybe people pleaser, and showing people how to shed that, how to go into the frame and the transformation that I experienced. So I kind of shared all of that. But in general, then at nighttime, we go into these, when we're doing the Aya, I go into these like powerful transformations of realization and these different insights. So now what I want to do is I want to kind of just take you through the different levels, the different things that I realized energetically through these experiences. So now, one of the first ones and the first intentions I had is I wanted to understand more about like how to heal my mother wound. The mother wound is something that I obviously had from the ex-stepmom from 7 to 16 years old. If you guys know my story, then you know I had the abusive ex-stepmom from 7 to 16. Emotionally, mentally, physically abusive. My brother and I had pretty much zero freedom. We weren't allowed to have friends, weren't allowed to watch TV, weren't allowed to, I had to earn going to school activities like forensics debate or band, like band camp I had to earn going to. And that was a time when we had almost zero power to like make our own choices, make our own decisions. And there was definitely a lot of pain that I associated with, I think, just being around women in general from that. And even though after that experience I was, dating, had many girlfriends and stuff like, throughout the years, I could see how that's affected my relationship in the way that, because I'm almost afraid of getting too close because I'm afraid of the pain that came from that time. Now, originally, I thought that the that the mother wound came from my ex-stepmom. Now, my mom, I have a great mom. However, my mom was going through stuff, and my mom had the same she had an abandonment wound from her mom. And these things tend to trickle down. So while I reconnected with my mom after I was 15 when my dad divorced my ex-stepmom, because then I was allowed to. My brother and I were brainwashed to not talk to our real mom because my ex-stepmom's a narcissist. So anytime we'd go to my real mom's house, we'd come back, and we'd get in so much trouble. And eventually we're like, well, why would I go to our real mom's house when we're going to be in so much trouble when we come back? So basically what happened is from being born until about 5 or 6, when then my parents divorced when I was about 5. Then my dad met my ex-stepmom when I was about 7. But before I was 5, I didn't realize I had an emotional abandonment wound from my mom. And this is something I think was passed down because my mom also had it. It's not my mom's fault. However, the part of the realization that I'll share with you is I've been going into this wound and realizing that I have this like tendency to attract women that maybe aren't emotionally as available as I would like. Like I desire more of like a nurturing woman, or a woman that is like, I guess, not that it just takes care of me, but like, I don't know, like there's a part of me that sees that I would normally attract women that wouldn't, that maybe would have more of their masculine activated, and therefore not give or not be as feminine and flowy as they could have been. But that also is because I wasn't as much in my own masculine, because I think I associated pain with being in the masculine because my ex-stepmom was so masculine and she was so angry. So what happened is this last 6 months to a year, I've gone through such a big transformation where I've realized going into the tension and being firm in my own frame, which really means being firm in my own body, having boundaries, has been so life-changing that it has completely affected my life and transformed everything about me. So as I've been able to go more into my own masculine, that's changed the kind of polarity of what I attract in my life. But there's still a part of my inner child wound where I can see that I feel unworthy. And that was one reason why people become a people pleaser. They're not getting maybe the love or the attention that they desire growing up. So what happens is they then seek it in other people, and they think that in order to get that love, they need to like be nice, ease tension. They don't want to be polarizing. And that realization for myself was huge like 6 months ago, because I was so battling with this. Like, it was hard for me to let go of past relationships, and there was like this almost codependent mentality that then as I started doing the shadow work and I started going into my own energy and really feeling it to heal it, feeling the unworthiness of maybe when I was a kid, the emotional abandonment, the rejection, felt rejected. And as I went into that rejection feeling and felt it, then began to dissipate my body. And then it got to the point to where I don't fear it and I'm able to be myself unapologetically. And now I value more authenticity versus like easing tension or being nice, which is fake. Being nice and like people pleasing, it's a way of exchanging and saying I'll be nice in exchange for validation and approval. Well, now I don't live that way. Now I'm much more polarizing. I say what's on my mind. I show up in a very much more powerful way than I used to. I'm more in my masculine than I've ever been. However, there's a part of me that still feels that inner child was kind of wounded. This is a clip from the Daily Vortex podcast, where I post 2 times a week, and we go really deep on understanding consciousness, understanding how to raise our vibration, how to bring these spiritual concepts down to earth in a relatable and practical way. For the whole entire episode, you can click the link below, but also subscribe to that of the Daily Vortex podcast on either iTunes or Spotify. That's where there are a backlog of over 100 episodes, plus the whole entire episode length is there. On this channel, you will only be seeing clips moving forward. So if you want the whole episodes, you can click the link below. You can subscribe. They're also very easy to listen to. They're automatically downloaded once you subscribe. Plus, you'll never miss an episode. So this is where most of my intention is and my energy is going these days. And I look forward to bringing you many more amazing episodes. But for the rest of this episode, you can click below and you can subscribe to the Daily Vortex podcast. And I look forward to helping you expand your consciousness in a very practical and relatable way. So I'll see you on the next episode. And as always, peace, much love, and namaste.